Towering above the Black Hills of South Dakota, Mount Rushmore stands as a testament to American ambition and artistry. Four colossal faces, etched in granite, stare out at the horizon, embodiments of leadership and legacy. They represent the ideals and aspirations of a nation. Before the dynamite and the drills, there was a dream, born in the heart of the American West, by an artist with a vision. Doane Robinson imagined a monument, capturing the spirit of the West, embodying the essence of American history. Doane Robinson knew that his vision required an artist of extraordinary talent and ambition. He needed someone who could not only carve stone, but could capture the essence of these monumental figures. His search led him to Gutzon Borglum, a renowned sculptor known for his work on the Stone Mountain Memorial in Georgia. Borglum, with his larger-than-life personality and unwavering determination, was immediately captivated by the challenge. He saw in Mount Rushmore a blank canvas of immense scale and grandeur. The sheer size of the project, the unforgiving nature of the granite, and the political complexities only seemed to fuel his artistic fire. Borglum believed that this monument had the potential to be more than just a regional attraction. It could be a symbol of American democracy for the entire world. The year was 1927, and the world watched as dynamite blasts echoed through the Black Hills, marking the beginning of a monumental undertaking. This wasn't just another construction project, it was the birth of an American icon. The men who toiled on Mount Rushmore weren't just laborers, they were artisans, carving a nation's story into the very fabric of the mountain. They worked tirelessly, suspended on ropes hundreds of feet in the air, battling unpredictable weather and unforgiving terrain. The scale of the project was immense, the logistics daunting. Yet, day after day, year after year, they chipped away at the granite, inch by inch, bringing Borglum's vision to life. Each blast, each swing of the hammer was a testament to their dedication and skill. The story of Mount Rushmore begins not with dynamite and drills, but with a dream rooted in the very landscape of the American West. The Black Hills, a place of stark beauty and sacred significance to the Lakota Sioux, held a particular allure for Doane Robinson. As the state historian of South Dakota, Robinson yearned for a way to draw visitors and boost tourism to his beloved region. He envisioned a monument, something grand and awe-inspiring that would capture the spirit of the West and its pioneers. His initial idea centered around carving colossal figures of Western heroes like Lewis and Clark, Buffalo Bill Cody, and even Red Cloud, the famed Lakota warrior. These figures, he believed, would stand as testaments to the adventurous spirit that had shaped the region. Robinson understood that such an ambitious project required an artist of exceptional skill and vision. Enter Gutzon Borglum, a larger-than-life figure with an ego as imposing as the sculptures he created. Already renowned for his work on the Stone Mountain Memorial in Georgia, Borglum was immediately intrigued by Robinson's proposal. He saw in the sheer scale of Mount Rushmore a challenge worthy of his talents, an opportunity to create a monument for the ages. However, Borglum also harbored artistic ambitions that extended beyond the scope of Robinson's original concept. He believed that focusing solely on Western figures would limit the monument's national appeal. Instead, he proposed a bolder, more symbolic approach, carving the faces of four American presidents who embodied the nation's founding ideals and westward expansion. Robinson, initially hesitant about this departure from his initial vision, eventually warmed to Borglum's persuasive arguments. The sculptor's passion was infectious, and his vision, though grander, held a certain undeniable appeal. The selection of the 4 presidents who would grace Mount Rushmore was a meticulous process, imbued with symbolism and intended to represent key chapters in the American narrative. George Washington, the nation's first president, was an obvious choice, his stoic visage representing the birth of the United States and the ideals of independence and self-governance. Next came Thomas Jefferson, the principal author of the Declaration of Independence and a staunch advocate for democracy and individual liberty. His inclusion spoke to the power of ideas and the enduring legacy of those founding principles. Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th president, embodied the spirit of westward expansion and the progressive era. His inclusion signified America's growing influence on the world stage and its commitment to conservation and national parks. With the 4 presidents chosen, the colossal task of transforming Borglum's vision from paper sketches into granite reality began. The year was 1927, and the world watched as dynamite blasts echoed through the Black Hills, marking the commencement of a monumental undertaking. This was not merely a construction project, it was the birth of an American icon, carved from the very heart of the mountain. Hundreds of workers, many of them local miners and artisans, braved perilous conditions and dizzying heights to bring Borglum's vision to life. They worked tirelessly, suspended on ropes hundreds of feet in the air, meticulously drilling, chiseling, and blasting away tons of granite. Borglum, a demanding and often eccentric leader, pushed his team relentlessly, driven by an almost fanatical dedication to his artistic vision. The creation of Mount Rushmore was not without its share of challenges, both logistical and political. Funding for the project was a constant concern. The Great Depression cast a long shadow over the nation, and securing financial support for a massive sculpture project proved to be an ongoing battle. Borglum, a master of persuasion, traveled the country, lobbying politicians and captivating audiences with his passionate speeches about the monument's significance. He understood that Mount Rushmore transcended regional boundaries. It was a national endeavor that spoke to the very soul of America. He skillfully navigated the corridors of power in Washington, D.C., securing federal funding through a combination of charisma and political maneuvering. Borglum's relationship with the federal government was often fraught with tension. The first face to emerge from the granite of Mount Rushmore, George Washington's visage sets the tone for the monumental tribute to American leadership. His stern yet resolute expression embodies the spirit of the nation's founding and the unwavering determination that defined the American Revolution. Borglum sought to capture the essence of the man who led a fledgling nation to independence. Washington's face, etched into the mountainside, became a symbol of national unity. Positioned next to Washington, the face of Thomas Jefferson presents a fascinating counterpoint in the narrative of American leadership. Known for his intellect, his eloquence, and his unwavering belief in the power of reason, Jefferson's presence on Mount Rushmore speaks to the importance of ideas in shaping a nation's destiny. Borglum, in his selection of Jefferson, acknowledged the pivotal role that the Declaration of Independence played in articulating the principles upon which the United States was founded. Jefferson's face, with its slightly upturned gaze, seems to contemplate not just the horizon, but the very nature of liberty and self-government. Borglum captured the essence of a man who, though deeply flawed, left an indelible mark on the nation's psyche. The sculptor understood that Jefferson's legacy was complex, a tapestry woven from both enlightened ideals and the harsh realities of slavery. Theodore Roosevelt's visage exudes the energy and dynamism that characterized his presidency. Known for his boundless enthusiasm and commitment to conservation, Roosevelt's presence on Mount Rushmore speaks to a period of rapid expansion. Borglum recognized the impact of the progressive era and its lasting influence on American society. Roosevelt's face, with its signature pince-nez glasses, captures the spirit of a man who embraced challenges head-on. The final face to be carved into Mount Rushmore, Abraham Lincoln's visage holds a place of profound significance in the American consciousness. Forever linked to the tumultuous period of the Civil War, Lincoln's presence on the mountain serves as a poignant reminder of the nation's struggle for unity and the enduring power of its founding ideals. Borglum, in choosing Lincoln, acknowledged the profound impact of the 16th president on the course of American history. Lincoln's face, etched into the granite with a solemn dignity, conveys the weight of leadership during a time of national crisis. Borglum captured the essence of a man who, thrust into extraordinary circumstances, rose to the occasion with unwavering resolve and a deep commitment to preserving the Union. The inclusion of Lincoln on Mount Rushmore also speaks to the power of redemption and the ongoing struggle for equality in American society. The creation of Mount Rushmore was more than just an artistic endeavor. It was an engineering marvel, a symphony in stone and dynamite orchestrated by Gutzon Borglum and his intrepid team. The sheer scale of the project boggles the mind. Imagine carving intricate details into a mountain face, not inches but hundreds of feet high, using tools that seem almost primitive by today's standards. Dynamite, carefully measured and strategically placed, became Borglum's chisel, blasting away tons of granite to rough out the basic forms of the presidential portraits. Following the blasts came the meticulous work of the powder monkeys, men who dangled from ropes hundreds of feet in the air, carefully removing loose rock and preparing the surface for the finer carving to come. They worked with jackhammers and pneumatic drills, the air filled with the deafening roar of machinery and the acrid smell of stone dust. The workers on Mount Rushmore faced a unique set of challenges. They weren't just battling the elements, the scorching summer sun and the biting winter winds, but also the unforgiving nature of the mountain itself. Suspended on ropes, they navigated treacherous slopes, their every move fraught with risk. One misstep, one frayed rope could send them plummeting hundreds of feet to the valley floor below. But the danger wasn't limited to the heights. Falling debris posed a constant threat, as did the ever-present dust from the drilling and chiseling. Yet, despite the risks, these men persevered, driven by a combination of economic necessity and a sense of pride in being part of something truly extraordinary. Section 3. The Unfinished Symphony. Dreams deferred and budgets busted. From the outset, the Mount Rushmore project was plagued by delays and financial constraints. The Great Depression, which began just 2 years after carving commenced, cast a long shadow over the nation, and funding for the monument became increasingly precarious. Borglum, a master fundraiser and a tireless advocate for his vision, often found himself at odds with government officials over budgets and deadlines. He had initially envisioned a much grander scheme, one that included not just the presidential portraits, but also a massive entablature carved into the mountainside, inscribed with the history of the United States. He also dreamed of a hall of records, hidden behind Lincoln's head, that would house the nation's most important documents. But these ambitious plans fell victim to budgetary constraints and the political realities of the time. Section 4. Beyond the Dynamite. The Human Cost of Ambition. The story of Mount Rushmore is not just about the triumph of engineering and artistry. It's also a story about human ambition, sacrifice, and the complex legacy of monumental projects. While the world marveled at the colossal faces emerging from the Black Hills, few paused to consider the human toll exacted in their creation. Over 400 men and women worked on Mount Rushmore during its 14 years of construction. They came from diverse backgrounds, some drawn by the promise of steady work during the Depression, others by the allure of being part of something historic. They toiled in dangerous conditions, often for meager wages, their health and safety sometimes taking a backseat to Borglum's relentless drive to complete his vision. Shadows of the Past. The Lakota Perspective. The towering figures of Mount Rushmore cast long shadows, not just across the terrain, but across history itself. For the Lakota people, it represents something entirely different, on whose ancestral lands it stands. The Black Hills are sacred to the Lakota, inextricably linked to their cultural identity. They are the heart of their spiritual universe, where their creation story unfolds. A sacred mountain defaced, the controversy over cultural heritage. The carving of Mount Rushmore, a project conceived and executed without the consent or consultation of the Lakota people, represents a profound act of cultural insensitivity and a painful reminder of the injustices they have endured. From the Lakota perspective, the blasting and carving of the mountain constituted a desecration of a sacred site, a violation of their spiritual beliefs, and a tangible symbol of their dispossession from their ancestral lands. This clash of perspectives between those who view Mount Rushmore as a celebration of American greatness and those who see it as a symbol of cultural dispossession lies at the heart of the ongoing controversy surrounding the monument. The debate over cultural heritage and the rights of indigenous people to protect their sacred sites is complex and multifaceted. It raises fundamental questions about ownership, representation, and the very meaning of national identity. Broken treaties, broken promises, the fight for recognition and restitution. The story of Mount Rushmore is inextricably linked to a long and troubled history of broken treaties and unfulfilled promises between the United States government and Native American tribes. The Black Hills, initially guaranteed to the Lakota in the 1868 Treaty of Fort Laramie, was subsequently seized by the U.S. government following the discovery of gold in the region. This act of dispossession, a clear violation of the treaty, had devastating consequences for the Lakota, who were forcibly removed from their lands and subjected to assimilation policies designed to eradicate their culture and way of life. The creation of Mount Rushmore, on land that they considered rightfully theirs, added insult to injury, a permanent reminder of the injustices they had suffered and the ongoing struggle for recognition and restitution. Section 4. Beyond the Faces. Unveiling the hidden stories of Mount Rushmore's workers. While the faces of the four presidents dominate the Mount Rushmore narrative, the stories of the workers who labored tirelessly often remain untold. These men and women braved perilous conditions to carve a monument into the heart of the Black Hills. Their stories offer a glimpse into the human cost of ambition and the sacrifices made. These individuals deserve recognition for their contributions to creating a national icon. Section 5. The Monument and the Movement. Mount Rushmore in the Age of Reckoning. Mount Rushmore is now at the center of a national conversation about race, representation, and colonialism. The Black Lives Matter movement has prompted a reassessment of monuments, including Mount Rushmore. This has led to a nuanced understanding of Mount Rushmore, acknowledging its artistry and troubling origins. A legacy etched in stone and shadow. Mount Rushmore stands as a potent symbol of the American story, etched in stone and shadow. The four presidents represent a complex tapestry of ideals, triumphs, and failures. They embody the spirit of a nation founded on liberty, yet built on dispossession and injustice. Mount Rushmore compels us to confront American history, acknowledging both light and shadows. Section 2. The enduring dialogue of Mount Rushmore. The story of Mount Rushmore does not end with the last blast of dynamite or the final chisel stroke. It continues to unfold in the hearts and minds of those who visit it. It sparks conversations about art, history, cultural heritage, and national identity. Mount Rushmore challenges us to engage in a dialogue about the past, present, and future. It invites us to ask, what stories do we choose to tell about our nation? How do we reconcile our history with our aspirations for a just society? Mount Rushmore reminds us that building a more perfect union is an ongoing process.